Good morning, everybody. Happy Monday. It is good to see you here. I am in the Liberty studio, just out of focus. Wow, what a way to start. I am in the Liberty studio, just knocking out my to-do list. I am hoping for a good day. You know, some Mondays are better than others where you feel really productive, and then some you just get stuck doing a task that takes way too long. So sometimes I'm able to do these live videos before my story time class that I teach, and sometimes they're after, like today, because, well, it's just what happens. So I'm happy to be chatting with you. We're going to talk about all the things that are going on in the studio this week. It is week 2 of March for some of you. So again, we talked about it all through the month of February. The month started on a Wednesday, and therefore my Monday videos are talking to the Wednesday, Thursday, Friday people, and then the following Monday, Tuesday. So if you're in a Monday or Tuesday class, you need to go watch last week's video to find out what's going on in classes during your week 1. Does that make sense? This is for the Wednesday through next Tuesday when we talk through what the classes are doing, because those are the week 2 lessons. When we get to April, that all gets fixed, which I'm pumped about, and then we won't have to worry about it. Even if you're in a Monday, Tuesday class, do wait or like catch the replay and watch the housekeeping stuff, because that is kind of time sensitive. So you're gonna wanna be aware of that. Sound good? So let's dive right in. We'll talk about our preschool classes first. This was my favorite picture from last week. So just a reminder, our preschool classes are reading books that are out of this world. They're exploring imaginary worlds with the Lorax, the Rock from the Sky, and what was this week? Rainbow fish. So kind of worlds that aren't worlds that we live in. They this week in week 2, we'll be reading The Lorax by Dr. Seuss and exploring the concept of drawing imaginary worlds. We'll do a little bit of collaging as well, since it is mixed media month. We've been playing with dress up clothes. This is the only time of the year where we get out the dress up clothes and the kids are able to explore kind of more dramatic play, which is still an art form. It's not a visual art form, right? We've got all the different fun creative stations that you saw in your week 1 class will still be up in week 2. So that's what's going on in our preschool classes. For our drawing classes, and I talked last week that I probably wouldn't have examples to show. I'm hoping by the end of the month I will, because I have to get permission, because our drawing classes are doing a showcase piece. So normally they come 4 times in the month, and the first 3 times that they come, we're drawing from photograph, we're drawing from life, and we're drawing from imagination. And it is an instructor given challenge that we've provided for them. And then they take it and run with it. We give feedback on it. And it's unlike the multimedia classes, the goal of the drawing classes is not to finish a project. It is to get your workout in. It's to stretch and grow and try something new and get feedback and practice. So they leave with their journal pages where, like, it's a lot of unfinished work, or like, oh, I didn't look good, and then they start over. It's a working journal. Now they do get the 4th week of the month to go back and finish a drawing that they really liked, or redo a drawing. So we do have that built in, but it's never like a polished piece. Not like what our multimedia kids, a lot of them leave the studio after 4 weeks and they have something to take home that's in a mat or a frame, or is complete. Well, this is going to change this month, because this month our kids are, I'm reaching for something. This month, our kids are working on a showcase piece. And so they're going to take everything they've learned for the whole year, the last 7 months, and put it together into one piece of art. Now, it can be from life. It can be from imagination. It can be from photograph. All those skills that we practiced. It can be in chalk pastel. It can be in charcoal. It can be in graphite. It can be in ink. It can, because we practiced all that. We learned those techniques. So they're going to take what they learned, what they enjoyed, come up with their own subject matter and create a showcase piece, something outside of their journal that we can mat and send home. It's also something that they can enter into the art show if they would like. Now, my 101s and my 102 advanced realistic, they spent time in their class just brainstorming and talking through what their subject might be. Maybe they're going to take something in their journal that they really thought was successful and rework it into outside of the journal. And we have carbon paper that they can use to transfer it to a nicer sheet of paper, so they don't have to just completely redraw it. We've got mats ordered for them so that they've got like something to finish it with, all that stuff. My comic kids, they have a little bit different challenge because they've also been working on a comic book. So for their showcase piece this week, or this month, what we've challenged them to do is to design a poster, a cover, or just a panel. So I have some examples here for their comic, for their characters, for their storyline, like which one of those are they going to do? So this is an example. My instructors brought some examples in. So this is an example of a poster. Okay. Here's another example of a poster, a drawing that is a poster. Obviously, this is recognizable, hopefully, for most of you. This is an example of something that's like a comic that like has a certain cell that's been blown up. But it is a complete composition. It is well thought out. It used a ruler. It's centered, right? It isn't just a drawing on notebook paper that we've thrown in a frame. Okay, so, and then the last one I have, this is Miss Grace's, she brought this in. This is an example of like a finished panel, right? So it's a page out of a comic book, or so it looks, but it's totally finished and it tells a story. So those are kind of their guidelines as they think of what piece. It doesn't need to finish the story if they're doing a panel or if they're doing just one cell. Doesn't need to finish the story. It's okay to leave the audience hanging a little bit, but the composition needs to be finished. So so that's what their challenge and their tackling is, brainstorming which one of those they're going to do. What media they're going to use. Is it going to be black and white? They're going to use, microns and Sharpie, or is it going to be in color and they're going to use alcoholics and Sharpie? Is it going to be in color and you're going to use, I don't know, colored pencils? So whatever they want to do, they have to figure all that out and then get started on that. So those are the drawing classes. They have a big job, and it's something different than we've done for the past 6-7 months. So I'm excited to see what they come up with. One of the challenges we've had in this class is because it's so free in terms of what everybody's working on. We have had to have some discussions that this isn't a party. It's not a free for all. So you have to actually be working during class on this. Otherwise, we will, for those that need it, we will assign a challenge like we do in class. So kind of a privilege is the discussion we've been having. So if your kids come home and that's what they say, that's the feedback they got, was maybe they were a little squirrely, and we weren't real focused on actually getting something done in drawing. So that's they might find that next week, if they are squirrely, the instructor says, great, here's your assignment basically for this week, because obviously you cannot handle do your own thing. All right, here we go. Multimedia classes. So we've started for our Wednesday, Thursday classes, or Thursday classes really, because we don't have classes on Wednesday for multimedia, but our Thursday classes have started. So our K1s and second thirds are doing that great Sharpie, oil pastel, and watercolor abstract. They started just by introing the project and beginning their outline abstract drawing. They will start this week in week 2 with the oil pastels. So that's step 2. So once we've got the Sharpie done, then it's oil pastels, and then it's watercolor. And that's the order that we usually apply those materials in. You can go back after the watercolor is dry and add more oil pastel and Sharpie on top, and that will be an option for them as well. We might even offer chalk pastels, which cover even better on top of watercolor, just as a 4th medium. My 5th grade, 4th, 5th, and homeschool are doing that painted paper collage, and I did bring some examples so that you could see what they did last week and hopefully start to visualize how it all comes together. So this is Thursday's 4th and 5th grade class in Liberty, and they spent their whole class period making their own paper that they will use in collage, and not like making your own paper like pulp and decals and all that stuff, although we have that in the closet, but making green screen. Hang on, I'll find ones that don't have green on it. So you can see like we've got kind of a rainbow look. There's a lot of great texture and pattern. These are ones that have been done in paints. This one here is, again, ignore the green part, but this one's been printed with bubble wrap. Now, it doesn't matter that it didn't go all the way to the outside edge, because this is what gets chopped up into whatever shape we're going to use for collaging, right? So don't look at it as a whole picture. look at it as something that gets added into a collage. This one's bubble printed. So they got to do some printing. They got to do some painting. They also did, this one is oil pastel with watercolors. Oh, I love this one, mostly because it's bright orange. Oil pastel and watercolors. So you've got kind of a scribbly design that can then be chopped up. This one has glitter in it. I haven't really looked at these. Ooh, there's some fun ones. There's another oil pastel and watercolor one, again, with green used. Their names are all on the back too, so they know which piece is theirs. What I love about this project is once we, that's just oil pastels. Once they make all their papers, then they'll start chopping them up and working them into a collage. So if I take this one, for instance, which kind of looks like marble to me, I think that's really fun. And I take, say, this corner over here and I chop it into whatever shape I'm using for my collage. The rest of the paper goes into a bin. Like, I'm done with it, so whatever. And it goes into a bin, and then other people can use my scraps. So if maybe they're looking for something specific and it wasn't in what they made for their week one, maybe they'll find it in one of the papers that their classmates made. So there is kind of a little bit of sharing and collaboration, which I think is neat. Yeah. Okay. So that gives you an idea a little bit of the painted papers. That one's really wild. Look at everything that's going on in there. That's a little bit about what's going on in our fourth and fifth and our homeschool classes are designing these papers. And then we just have that. They are going to start cutting this week and then collaging this week. So that way in the subsequent weeks, they can do finishing details, whether that's adding yarn or sequins or glitter glue or gemstones or wire details or stitching details, like sewing details, whatever they decide they want to add to finish their collage. So that's what's happening in our fourth, fifth, and our homeschool classes. Now, in middle school, high school class, I didn't bring anything. I should have, because I have transparencies. Did I show you it? Let's go look. You want to go for a walk? Come on. Not very far. Just into the classroom. Is it over here? Let's see. Nope. That's where it lived for a while. Let's go see if it's in the closet. So Miss Liz made an example for us of these graffiti portraits. If I can find it. Here's my transparency. Looks just like me. Here's Liz's. So, oh, they took the magnets off. Well, nuts. That's okay. We'll take the whole thing and we'll go. We'll go this way. I have to show it to you when I'm seated, because if I try to show it to you now, I'll drop something. So we're gonna go back to the office. Here we go. Back to the green screen. Magic television here. I don't know what just happened. Click to something. Now I messed it all up, you guys. I messed it all up. Hang on, let's do this. Let's stop the share and we'll add it back in. How's that? See if it gets fixed. And then I'm going to show you these examples because they're a really cool project. Oh, look, all fixed. Yeah. Like it never happened. All right. So they have been our middle schoolers and our high schoolers. So that's Liberty's 6th, 7th, 8th, 12th, and then Platwoods has a middle school, high school combined class. Have been working on a collage that will go behind a photograph of theirs. And so Liz used a lot of green on hers, or she did. They had to send in a photograph. A lot of them took it in class. And then I take them, this is me. I take them and edit them into what's called halftone so that you only have black and only have white. The grayscale in the photograph is made by the dots getting smaller. So if you, yeah. So it's in halftone and then it is printed on a transparency. So it's see-through. Okay. So here's Miss Liz's. You can see she's got some paint on hers because because hers is ready to go into the collage. We've got a collaged background with magazines and paint, and then this gets put on top. And so your face, the clear part of your face, gets filled with the colors and patterns or icons. So like if I love Starbucks, I could have a Starbucks logo on my forehead, right? Because it's all pulled out of magazines. I do love Starbucks, by the way, right? And so we make our collage, and then the transparency it's actually put on with magnets. So it looks like it's riveted. It's kind of a very industrial look, which is fun. We also have time for them to put painted details so that they can increase or decrease the contrast in certain parts of their face, if not their face, but in the layer under their face, if need be, so that the picture really shows through. So this week, in week 1, they got their pictures taken. I got them edited. I got them printed. So they're ready. Week 2, and they started picking out all their collage pieces, just collecting treasures. In week 2, they're going to start collaging it onto their canvas. They need their transparency for that, because you want to know like where certain important pieces are going to show through. So the goal is by the end of week 2's class, they have their collage like 75% done. So that way, week 3, we can really focus on the paint details. And week 4, we can just focus on getting things attached and making sure everything looks good. Okay, so that's kind of the plan. I'm excited to see what they come up with. And I think it's such a cool self-portrait project that uses a little bit of photography and then all the collage and stuff. So, all right, housekeeping information. So our first thing is the art show. We talked about it a little bit the last couple of weeks. I did go ahead and make a website. So it's not like linked to the homepage yet, but it will be soon. You can find it by using the search bar. It'll also be in the email link. So when I email this video out to you guys, it'll be in that, there's always links that were mentioned. So it'll be there if you want to take a look. There's nothing you need on it right now, but I know some of you are like me and you're just planners. And so you just want to see it. So there is information on the website about the art show. And then there's a spot to show your submissions form, or to download a submission form, and also to RSVP. There's even if you click the button, nothing happens right now because we're not going to start submissions or RSVPs until April 1st. Okay. So just FYI, that is going to come. We are going to require RSVPs because I have to RSVP to Chicken and Pickle and I have to pay for it. So we do need to know. All right. The next thing is summer registration. So if you're a Studio Club member, you have access to register now. Now I have found some people who, even though they have the Studio Club tag, when it doesn't say that they can't register. It's just when they try to register, nothing happens. Nothing. You click it and nothing happens. The screen kind of does this little refresh, but nothing happens. I do not know what's going on. I have emailed Sawyer, which is the registration system, and I said, what did I do wrong? How come some people can register and some people can't? And they can't figure it out. So they've submitted or escalated a ticket. That was on Friday. I'm hoping that I sent a follow-up message today to be like, what's going on with this? Tell me what I need to do. So if you are one of those people that you're like, I tried, but I couldn't get signed up, send me a message and I can sign you up on my side. That's not a problem. We can get you signed up. It isn't as easy peasy as it should be. So anyway, send me a message if you're one of those people that's having trouble, and hopefully we get it fixed sometime today, and then it's not an issue. The system, so our registration will open for everybody at 9 a.m. on the 15th, and I will take everything down at midnight. So it says midnight on the 14th, but you know what I mean, right? So 11:59 p.m. on the 14th until 9 a.m. on the 15th, everything's going to come down because I have to take it all down and take the members only stuff off. And that takes a little bit of time. And I don't want to be stressed doing that at 8:45 in the morning and then have people freaking out. So it's going to go ahead and everything will disappear off the site. You won't be able to see any listings. You won't be able to register. So basically, Studio Club members, you have until midnight on the 14th, and then Then after that, you have to wait until it goes public at 9 a.m. That said, if you are planning on that, you're like, I'll do it at 11 o'clock on the 14th, and you have trouble, I will not be available to help you. So, like, I will not until probably 9:30 the next morning okay? So just be aware of that. If you need my help, hit me before 5 p.m. on Tuesday, okay? All right, here we go. And then the last is spring break. Just a couple notes. So that spring break week for most of our schools is the 20th to the 24th. If you are in a preschool or a toddler class, you do not have class that week because we don't have to. So if we can take it off, we do. Drawing and multimedia classes, you guys meet at your normal times. If you can't make it, do a makeup. It's okay. All right. If you miss your class for spring break week, and then the next week you come to class, we will try to get it finished. We will work to get it finished. If you finish your project, then you don't have to do makeup. Okay. If you know, like you're a Thursday class, if you know you're going to be gone during spring break, if you can let us know, we can try to get it finished before you go. And then you don't have to do makeup. So just communicate that with us and we'll help you out. The other note I had, but it didn't fit on housekeeping, was we're kind of in the tail end of our school year. So attendance goes, like it falls off a cliff in April and May. People get busy, the weather gets warm, baseball season starts, like, and then all the school things happen, right? Choir concerts, band concerts, the end of year, whatever, and it just gets nuts. So if you are unable to come to class, just know you're not the only one. We're going to work in class to get everybody finished with projects. If we know you're going to miss the last time, we'll work to get it done, that third time instead of the fourth time. If we know, if we don't know, we don't know to do that. But if you're like 2 months behind on projects because I missed classes, and you can't do makeups on Wednesdays, work with us to come in at other times. Okay, we can put you in, because attendance is so sporadic and low, that 14-person class is only gonna have 10 people in it anyway. Like we can take, and you can double up one week, right? And come both Tuesday and Thursday or something like that, so that we can get you done. But you have to just work with us on that. We'll fit you into a class where we have hands to help and that they're doing a similar project or whatever, but we do have options. And I hate when we get to the end of the school year and I have a closet full of projects. So now if your kids are like, I don't want to finish it anyway, like, that's fine. Some kids are process, some of them are product, some don't love certain types of products, and so they don't really care if they finish it or not. And I never make them, but we would like, if it matters to you, we want to make sure we get your project done. So work with us on that. Okay. We're flexible. We can make it happen. All right. I think that's it for me. So I hope everybody has a wonderful second week of March. I am T-minus 10 days before I go on vacation for spring break. So I'm working really hard to get everything set and all the information to my team. There are spreadsheets everywhere. So if I seem a little bit frazzled, that is why I've had a vacation in ever since we opened. So anyways, so be nice to everybody. I will still be here for the video next week, but then the following 2 weeks will be videos by somebody else on the team, probably Miss Sarah. So have a wonderful rest of this week. I'll see you for the video next Monday. Bye, guys.